Okay, so my name is Amanda, and my passion is fostering dogs. So the way that I started is when I was about 8, my mom's friend actually started her own rescue. It was the Independent Animal Shelter Rescue, and it's like they go to Bakersfield, to the most lethal shelter in the area, and they take dogs from there and bring them. They keep them in the area that they're at for a little bit, and then once they have all the spaces filled, they start like filtering out dogs and putting them into homes. And does anybody know how many dogs are euthanized per year?
So
According
at
to
least
study.
12.
Huh?
At least 12.
I mean, yeah, at least 12.
God,
The answer is actually 670,000.
Oh.
And that's another reason we started, because we are complete dog people and we just have loved dogs. I've had one in my house for as long as I can remember. The most dogs we fostered at once were 10, and in the past 10 years we've had at least 30 dogs. Next slide. This is my commercial. These are 2 of my dogs. My 2 dogs. And this is Buddy. He passed away a few months ago. This is Dakota. Okay, so this is my essential question, because I was curious if I wanted to foster, because I do want to foster dogs in the future, so I wanted to see like what I would have to do. So of course you need to have a passion for it. You need to want to be able to foster the dog, and you need to have the necessities like shelter, food, and water. Next slide. Here's some things. So you have to have a house. You cannot have an apartment, because apartments have certain like guidelines and things that foster dogs might not meet, because you don't choose the dog. Okay, you can choose like the breed, but you don't choose the type of dog that you have, if it's like small or big, or it's just basically you get any dog that they need to give away before it goes back to the lethal shelter. And then, so yeah, you need to have a house, and then a crate is optional, because there are some things, like if you have a small dog and it can get like underneath couches or anything, and you don't want it to do that, you can put it in a crate while you're out or while you're sleeping so it doesn't get lost. Or if you have a dog that isn't potty trained yet, you can also put it in a crate and put blankets down, so if you leave, if it pees on the blanket, you just wash the blanket. You also have to have a leash and collar, so like if you want to walk the dog, because it needs exercise, whether it's a small one like just around the house, or if you have to walk your big one. So this is a harness. It goes around the dog's body when you walk it, so if it's like energetic, or if it tries to push or like pull, you can't push. If it tries to pull, then you can pull it back without choking it, so because it just like holds the body back. And then you need food and water. So this is Buddy. We've had him for 9 years. I think we had to put him down like in June 19th or something, like around there. And he was the oldest dog to be put down in that shelter. He was about 18, maybe 19. He actually had a family before he came to us. So he had a family for about 6 years, like the first 6 years of his life. And then he was put in the Bakersfield shelter, and then my mom's friend Carrie rescued him. And then about like an hour after she rescued him, he wouldn't go into the kennel because he had been there for so long. And so my mom got a call, and she actually had to go get him that day. And so we knew immediately that we were gonna adopt him, because he was so happy. Like he was, we had him for 9 years. When we got him, he would never jump on people. He would always jump really, really high in front of people, and like he would just like be like, "Hey, I'm here. Like, pay attention to me." And then next slide. And this is Dakota. She is my baby. I love her. She is, I believe 2 right now. She actually was fostered with her 4 siblings that we had in the house. They were all puppies, and it was her actual. Okay, so all of her siblings were named after gems. So her original name was Topaz, and there was Onyx, Citrine, Jasper, and Sapphire. And we actually only had Dakota. We fostered Dakota for about 2 months, and then like she was so scared, she wouldn't let anybody go near her. She wouldn't, like, you couldn't pet her, so she would just be in the crate the whole time, and so she couldn't get adopted because nobody could look at her. Next slide. So this is her. That's her when she was a baby. And this is Jasper and Sapphire. So they actually got adopted pretty quick. We don't keep in touch. Like usually we keep in touch with the families, but we don't keep in touch with these families because they are out of state. His new name is Franklin. So that's pretty much all we know. And yeah, it was a lot of trouble trying to potty train them, but we did it. It was okay. Next slide. So this is Lucy. We have had her for over 3 years. We actually did not foster her, but we got her from the same organization. She was pregnant when the rescue group found her. It took them 6 months to catch her because she was loose in Bakersfield. It was her and another male shepherd. All her puppies got adopted. The only reason that she couldn't get adopted was because she got too attached to one of the people that was working there, and so she wouldn't ever leave that person's side. So when we got her, it was a little difficult to get her used to the house and like the people in our house living with us. But then she immediately got attached to my stepdad, and so you'll see in a video later, she always is in his office when he's on business trips, and she waits for him to get home. This is Mochi. So my sister and I give nicknames to all of our dogs. He is a Shar-Pei. He actually was only 20 pounds. That picture kind of makes him look gigantic. But we actually don't remember his real name because we just always called him Mochi because he had really short hair and he was very fuzzy. We only had him for a few weeks, but if you picked him up or if you took him somewhere, that he would just stay there. He would cuddle with you forever. He could fit in your hands. He was the cutest dog. We don't keep in touch with his family either, but he's not that big anymore. Actually, I don't have a picture of him, but he's not gigantic because another one of the dogs we have is huge. Next slide. So this is Bear and Bryant. We had them only for a little bit. We didn't have usually we keep dogs for about maybe 2 to 5 weeks, so it's not that long. Bryant actually learned how to climb onto the piano and knock everything off. So that was my mom loved that. And then Bear, he would always come up. If you called him, he would almost always answer, and he would like to cuddle with you. And if you called him over to the couch, he would just lay down and watch TV. Next one. This is Cedar. My sister and I nicknamed her Baby Fluff because she was a very fluffy puppy. She loved Dakota, and we only had her for I think 3 weeks, and we actually were able to potty train her before she left because Bear and Bryant weren't potty trained before they left. We potty trained her, and she would also cuddle. She couldn't jump at all. You had to pick her up everywhere. But she was really cute. And next one. This is her now. She is part wolf. We actually do keep in touch with them because her owner works with my mom, and so we're able to see pictures of her sometimes. And that's the only picture we have. But she's actually we don't know what breed she was originally, but we just know that she's part wolf, and she kind of looks like it now. These are some other fosters that we didn't keep when we first started fostering. So this one is Bo. We only had him for a few days because we were just holding him until his foster family could come pick him up. But he was so cute. He always used to trip over everything as we go over. And this one is Dog. He was very old when we found him. He would always dig up holes in the backyard when my mom wasn't home. So when we were trying to sell our old house, every day there'd be at least one new hole after my mom told him to stop. We don't know what he was looking for. He just liked to dig holes. And then this is Minka. My stepsister actually owns this dog. She fostered her for 3 months, and then decided to adopt her. She's very loud, and she's a husky. And they live in a huge house, so they have a nice yard. She doesn't have to exercise that much. But she's pretty young. She's about 2 years old, I believe. And then here's my video. So in the beginning, I'm showing how difficult it is to walk the dogs because it is very difficult. Dakota, okay, so I didn't know this before, but Dakota doesn't like when people walk behind her, especially people she doesn't know, and so she keeps turning around. And then this vest she's wearing is actually, it's her security vest. It's it helps her cope with things like meeting new people, or if somebody's in the house that she doesn't like, she wears that, and so it helps her because she gets distracted easily. And so there are certain things we have to do to help her not get distracted. And then Lucy just doesn't want to go anywhere because she had hip surgery a little bit ago, so she doesn't like to walk. And then yeah, I kind of just gave up the first time because it was too difficult to walk both of them because they kept going in opposite directions. So I tried just with Dakota, but like if somebody's following behind her, then she gets really scared and doesn't like to go anywhere. So you have to like kind of like hold her back and like we say heel because that's how we trained her to respond. And it's because of the camera person, she wasn't like completely comfortable around him, and so I had to try again with my mom. She doesn't really, okay, I didn't know this also before we started walking her, but she actually doesn't go as far as I would like her to go, because I was trying to go down the street, and she only goes in the little cul-de-sac that we live in. And her, like, smelling, like, for her, because she sees and smells and hears everything, because she's a hound shepherd mix. And so for her, 30 minutes of just walking around and smelling everything is the equivalent of a 1 hour walk, because of like how hard her brain is working to notice the different smells that she's not used to. And it was like, it's hard because like, if she doesn't go somewhere, I'm supposed to like try and like have her come with me, because I don't usually walk her. My mom usually does, and that's who's filming, that's why she keeps looking back and trying to go back. But we're trying to like have her go further and further every time we walk her. So there hasn't been much progress made. Is there music? There's just music. It took me several attempts to try and get her to go where I was expecting her to. But eventually I had to stop and we turned around. And her ears, okay, so her ears are just, they flip-flop. They go back and forth. Like, she does have two, but usually you can only really see one. And she's had that, it's been like that since she was a puppy. Her ears were actually a lot bigger. They were like as big as her head when she was a puppy. And that's also what made me like want to keep her, because she was the cutest. She usually goes all the way around, but she was tired and wanted to go back into the house, so we kind of didn't go all the way around. But she usually, with my mom, she goes around the cul-de-sac and she just smells everything. It takes like 30 minutes, and then she goes just back in the house. And this is Bryant and Bear, and Bryant is the mischievous one. I think he's chewing on a dog yogurt cup. And there's Bear. He was so cute. And this is how the dogs react to somebody in their family versus somebody they don't know coming into the house. They kind of both come out and they like see who it is. And Lucy can see from my stepdad's office, which is where, I don't know if it goes off the screen, but she can see from my stepdad's office, like outside. And so she can know, if she knows the person, then she'll come out. If not, then she won't. But they're both very skittish, because Lucy doesn't come out in this photo. She just stays in the office, and then Dakota tries to get as far away as she can. And these are treats. I'm just showing like where they are usually in the house. So this is my stepdad's office, where Lucy is almost always sitting. She sleeps down here when he's not home, and every time he's working, she's always in there. Both dogs sleep upstairs when my stepdad and my mom are home, because they sleep in my mom's room. And this is my mom's office. This is where Buddy was. He would always follow my mom's schedule, but now Dakota does, and so she barks at my mom if my mom isn't following her work schedule. And they just lay in there all day.